12 water tricks, 9 of them work, 3 of them kill people. It was not the bug in the water that got them. It was the trick they used to make it look clean. And the 3 that kill are the ones you have seen the most. Clear is a look, safe is a condition. You have built the filter, grass, sand, charcoal, a bottle with the bottom cut off. It ran clear, you drank it, nothing happened. You filed it as a skill, nothing in that device stops what actually makes you sick. Every trick on this list is older than the water filter. People got clean water for 4,000 years before that thing existed. 9 of these I use, 2 with a warning stapled on. 1 I would take off the internet entirely. And 1 account I saved for last, 1854, 1 London Street. 616 dead in weeks. And a well everyone agreed had the best water in the parish. They walked past closer pumps to fetch from it. That is in the doctor's own notes. Here is what makes the rest of this list make sense. 1. Protozoa, Gardia and Cryptosporidium. Hard-shelled cysts, 4 to 12 microns across. Gardia is 2 weeks of cramps. Cryptosporidium shrugs off chlorine. 2. Bacteria. E. coli, Campylobacter, Salmonella. 3. Viruses. Hepatitis A, norovirus, rohvirus. 50 times smaller than a bacterium. Rare in deep backcountry, downstream of livestock, not rare at all. 4. Chemistry. Mine drainage, lead, arsenic, fertilizer, road runoff. Only one method on this whole list touches number 4. Boiling does not, charcoal barely does, sunlight does not, your filter does not. And a 5th thing, not a hazard at all, governs all of it. Turbidity, just mud in the water. Cloudy water blocks sunlight, eats chemicals, and clogs any filter in 20 minutes. So the craft is 2 moves in order. Get it clear, then make it safe. Every method that ever put a man in the ground confused those 2. Number 12. The folded cloth over the mouth of the pot. 1999 to 2002. Rural Bangladesh. 65 villages. 133,000 people. Rita Kolewell's team gave them no tablets, no wells, nothing. Only instructions to strain every drop through sari cloth, folded 4 to 8 times. Cholera in those villages dropped 48%. Proceedings of the National Academy of Sciences, 2003. Cholera does not swim around loose, it rides on copepods. A folded weave stops anything bigger than about 20 microns, and this is where it stops being useful. That cloth removes the rider, it does not remove the bug. Free bacteria go through, Gardia goes through, viruses do not notice it. It worked because cholera rides plankton, most things do not. 4 folds of a shirt takes out the grit and the swimmers. Number 11. Clarifying muddy water. Almost nobody bothers anymore. Men on the Missouri drank river water the color of coffee with milk. Not that way though. They dropped a pinch of alum in the bucket and waited. Alum, potassium aluminum sulfate. Used on water for 2,000 years, since Egypt. It is still the main coagulant in the plant that serves your town today. Mud is clay, and clay particles carry a negative surface charge. They repel each other so they never settle. That is why a puddle stays brown for days. A coagulant cancels the charge. The particles clump, get heavy, and sink. And they take the bacteria down with them because bacteria ride on particles. With nothing at all, you still have the oldest version of it, time. Fill a container at dusk, pour off the top at first light, but hear the difference. This clears water, it does not clean it. You can make something that looks like tap water and is still loaded. Number 10. The seep well. Some men call it a gypsy well. You are at a beaver pond, and the water is brown and foul. You do not drink the pond. You walk 6 feet back, dig a hole a foot or 2 down, and wait 20 minutes. It fills through the ground nearly clear. Bail the first out. The second is yours. This is not folk magic. It has an industrial name. It is called bank filtration. Cities on the Rhine and the Danube have drawn water this way for a century. River water pulled through meters of sand and gravel loses its turbidity and its bacteria. But hold that phrase, a few meters, over days. Your hole gives it 18 inches of travel in half an hour. It clears. It does not clean. If cattle stand on that floodplain, the shallow groundwater is the runoff. You filtered the mud out and pulled in the reason the mud was a warning. Number 9. Charcoal. This is the first of the three. Sanskrit medical texts prescribe charcoal for water. The Royal Navy charred the inside of its water casks. Charcoal absorbs organic molecules, which is why every survival channel on Earth teaches the three-layer filter: a bottle with the bottom cut off, or a tripod with cloth stages. Grass, sand, crushed charcoal, swamp water in the top, clear water out the bottom. It looks like a miracle. That device does not remove GARDA, not cryptosporidium, not bacteria. It does not touch a virus. First, campfire charcoal is not activated carbon. Activation is a factory step, steam or chemicals at 600 degrees and up. It opens the pore structure to 1,500 square meters of surface in a single gram. Second, and this one gets missed even by people who know the first one, real activated carbon does not remove cysts or bacteria by adsorption either. The carbon filters that are rated for GARDA are rated on pore size, not on carbon. It is the pore size doing the work, not the carbon. A loose bed of crushed char has channels you could drive a truck through. So what did you build out there? A very good clarifier, and I build them. Use it as stage 1, then boil what runs out the bottom. The danger here is not the device. The device is fine. It is the word people put on it. They call it a purifier, then they trust it. Number 8. The copper pot and the silver coin in the water crock. Ayurvedic households in India stored drinking water in copper overnight. Tamra Jahl. Persians used silver. The practice goes back thousands of years. American farm families dropped a silver dollar in the milk and the water crock. All of that got filed under superstition. It is not superstition. It is called the oligodynamic effect. 2012. The Journal of Health, Population and Nutrition. They dosed water with E. coli, salmonella and cholera. Put it in copper pots at room temperature and left it alone. After 16 hours they could not culture a single one of them. The copper left in the water stayed well inside the World Health Organization limit. 16 hours, not 16 minutes. That is a storage practice. It is not a field treatment. You cannot dip a copper cup in a creek and be covered. And that was bacteria. GARDA and cryptosporidium have a hard wall, far tougher. Copper keeps clean water clean. It will not make dirty water clean. Number 7. 6 hours of sunlight in a clear plastic bottle. The Sushruta Samachita, one of the oldest medical texts we have, says set water in the sun. It was worked out properly at the American University of Beirut in the 80s. The World Health Organization lists it as a recommended household treatment. It has a name, SODIS, solar disinfection. Ultraviolet, a light wrecks microbial DNA, and heat above 45 degrees multiplies it. Clear plastic, PET, the kind soda comes in, 2 liters or less. The water has to be clear going in. The field test is a newspaper. If you can read the print through the water, you are under the limit. Then lay it on its side. Standing up, the water column is too deep and the light never reaches the bottom. 6 hours of bright to half cloudy sky, fully overcast 2 days. 2 things kill it dead. It will not work in a glass bottle or a metal one. Glass blocks the wavelengths you need. PET passes them. It will not work in cloudy water, and it does nothing about chemistry. But it costs nothing, burns no fuel, and you can be walking while it happens. Number 6. Boiling. Everybody knows it. Almost nobody knows what is true about it. Heat kills by wrecking proteins, and the numbers are gentler than you were taught. Water at 65 degrees Celsius for 20 minutes inactivates GARDA and cryptosporidium. 149 Fahrenheit, well under a boil. That is not boiling, that is pasteurizing. Same idea as milk. By the time you see a rolling boil, that water was safe minutes ago. You have never needed to boil for 10 minutes. The CDC says a rolling boil for 1 minute. 3 minutes above 6,500 feet. That is a safety margin on top of the biology. It is not the biology. And then there is the altitude myth, which I hear constantly. They say water boils too cool up high to be safe. On the summit of Everest, it boils around 71. 71 is still above the pasteurization threshold. There is no mountain on this planet high enough to stop boiling working. Give it the 3 minutes and stop worrying about it. And now the honesty, because boiling has a body count, nobody hangs on it. Boiling does nothing about chemistry, and it makes chemistry worse. Every minute it boils, water leaves as steam. The arsenic stays in the pot. Take a pot from a creek running out of an old unmarked mine it in Montana. Boil it 10 minutes, and you have concentrated the arsenic and the lead. You made the biology safe and the chemistry worse. Boiling is a biological tool. That is all it is, and it is a very good one. For chemistry, there is one answer, and it is walking upstream. Before number 5. If this is worth knowing, hit the like button. That is what puts it in front of the man heading out this weekend. The one who is about to build a charcoal filter and trust it. Right. Number 5. Number 5. Distillation. The oldest real purification there is. Aristotle wrote it down. Seawater evaporated and condensed comes back fresh. Alexander of Aphrodisias, around 200 AD, recorded sailors doing it at sea. The only thing here that gets everything, and it answers what boiling cannot. What condenses is water and nothing else. Salt stays behind, lead stays behind, arsenic stays behind. A pot, the lid on upside down, and a wet cloth laid on the lid. A cup sitting inside, catching what runs down. Heating water to boiling takes 335 kilojoules a kilogram. Turning that boiling water into steam takes another 2,260. 7 times the fuel for the same liter of drinking water, and one real gap. Distillation does not remove volatiles. Fuel, solvents, and some pesticides boil off with the water and condense back with it. So this is for salt water, or water you know is carrying metal. Number 4, the transpiration bag and the pit solar still. The bag is good, the pit is not. Clear bag over a leafy living branch, tied at the neck, one corner hanging low. The tree pulls water up out of the ground and breathes it out through the leaves. 1/3 of a liter up to a liter a day. You tie it and you walk away. It costs you nothing while it works. But you are drinking whatever that plant breathes out. Oleander will put its poison straight into the bag. So will others. Never bag a plant you cannot name. The pit still is the other half. I would take it out of every book it is printed in. Dig a pit. Plastic over it, weight in the middle, cup underneath. Ground damp condenses in. The Air Force tested them. A good one averages 8 ounces a day. In the desert, a man lying still in shade needs a gallon a day. And you dug that pit in the heat, already short of water. Days of it running will not give back what you sweated building it. It is not that the pit still does not work. It works slower than you lose. If you are in dry country and you can dig for shade, not for water. Number 3, rain and dew. The cleanest water you will get in the field, and most men sleep through it. Rain that lands in a container has touched nothing at all. No ground, no animal, no runoff, no road. But you have to be rigged before it starts, not during. A tarp, a stone in the middle, a corner over a pot. 30 seconds of work. It turns a miserable night into 8 liters you did not have to treat. Whatever is on that tarp goes in your pot. Rinse it and throw the first minute away. Do is the dry morning version, and it is real. BDUN and aborijinol practice both. A shirt or a bandana dragged through wet grass and wrung into a container. Before sunrise, about half a liter an hour. It stops when the sun hits the grass. The limit on dew is whatever is on the vegetation. Bird droppings, rodent droppings, dust. In farm country, whatever got sprayed. Rain out of the sky I will drink as it falls. Dew off the grass I treat like any other surface water. Number 2. Sap. Water the tree already pulled up and filtered for you. Latvia, Estonia, Finland, Russia, Northern China. Burch. People have drunk the sap every spring for as long as there have been people there. About 99% water and 1% sugar. Drill a small hole an inch deep, angled up, low on the trunk, and hang a container. A decent Burch gives a liter or 2 a day. Maple is the same trick with more sugar. But it only runs at thaw. Nights still freezing, days above. 2 to 3 weeks once a year, and then it is finished. And it goes off fast. 2 or 3 days and it ferments. Plug the hole with a whittled peg after. A tap left open is a wound. Then there is the vine, and the vine is where people get hurt. A cut section of thick wild grapevine will run water. That part is genuinely true. But moonseed grows in the same woods, looks like wild grape and is poisonous. One rule covers it. If the sap runs milky, colored, bitter, or soapy, walk away. Clear and tasteless, or nothing at all. Number 1. Snow and ice. Third of the 3, and the one that kills people every single winter. Here is the sentence in every cold weather manual on Earth. Never eat snow, not try not to, never. And here is the physics, because the number will stop you doing it. Melting a kilogram of ice into water takes 334 kilojoules. With no temperature rise at all, 0 degrees to 0 degrees. If the snow is in your mouth, that comes out of your core. 90 food calories of pure heat per liter, out of the middle of you in the cold. And it dries your mouth, so you get thirstier, so you eat more. That is a hypothermia loop, and it is in the accident reports every year. Melted outside your body. Fire, stove, a dark bag in the sun, a bottle in your jacket. 2 more things. Snow is mostly air. Fresh powder is around 90% air. You need about 10 quarts of snow for 1 quart of water. So if there is ice, take the ice. Ice is water. Snow is a rumor of water. And prime the pot. A little liquid water in the bottom before you pack snow in. Dry snow against a hot pot scorches, and then your only pot burns dry. And snow is not sterile. That is a myth, and it is a common one. It scavenges what is in the air on the way down, and takes on whatever it lands on. Deep country, off the trail, away from animal sign, I melt it and drink it untreated. And I will say that plainly. Near a road, a camp, or tracks, it is surface water like any other. One last thing. Sea ice loses its salt over a year, and new gray ice is brine. Old ice, blue and rounded and weathered, is fresh. The men who lived up there took the old flows and left the new. Now the part I saved for last, and it is why the list is in that order. August 1854, Broad Street, Soho, London. In 3 days, 127 people on that one street were dead. Final count, 616. Every doctor in London knew what caused cholera: bad air, miasma, vapor off the rot. One physician, John Snow, thought it was the water, and he did what nobody had done. He mapped every death, house by house. They piled up around a public pump on Broad Street, He had the handle taken off on the 8th of September. That pump had a reputation. It ran clear, and it tasted better than the pumps nearby. Snow wrote this himself. The families of the dead always sent to the Broad Street pump. That they preferred the water to that of the pumps which were nearer. They walked past closer water to fetch that water because it looked clean. The well had been dug 3 feet from an old brick cesspit, and it was leaking. A woman at number 40 had washed a sick infant's diapers into it. 3 feet of London clay took the smell out and took the color out, and left every single thing that mattered. And the brewery on Broad Street lost nobody. 70-odd men working beside that pump. They had a daily beer ration, so they did not drink the water. And brewing boils the wort. That is the whole difference between the men who lived and the street that died. The Board of Health rejected him anyway and put the pump handle back on. So here is my honesty block on all of it, and it is short. Not one thing on this list is a modern filter, and I am not saying throw yours away. A hollow fiber element in a 2-ounce body does in 30 seconds what a copper pot needs 16 hours to do. It is a better tool, and it took 4,000 years. This list is for the day that element freezes and cracks, or clogs, or stays home, and one limit covers all 12 of them. Only the still touches what a mine or a field puts in a creek. Nothing else here does. For chemistry you do not treat, you move. So what to do instead? 2 moves in that order every time. Clear it first. Cloth, a seep, a coagulant, or 12 hours standing still. Then kill it, boil it, or 6 hours of sun in a clear bottle on its side. If you take one thing off this video, take this. Clear is a look. Safe is a condition. 616 people in Soho drank the best-looking water in the parish. What is the water trick you were taught that you would now take off the list? And why? I want the why. Drop it below because I read every one. Subscribe because the next one is what people get wrong about the cold, not the temperature, the wet. And that one has a higher body count than this one does. Whatever you carry and whatever you were taught. The woods don't care what you were told. Learn it right and come back out.